Good morning, this is Jack from Charting the Markets, and this is the pre-market webinar for the morning of Friday, the 5th of June. My disclaimer, I do this for educational purposes only. I'm here to share my technical analysis with you. I hope you can take some what I'm doing and learn from it, transfer it to your own charts, and I'm not here to shoot trading signals. This is a video for paying subscribers. It's chartingthemarkets.substack.com. It's published on YouTube after a delay of 24 hours. All right, we've been following the historical stats very closely this week, and if we're going to do that today, then we're going to go down. Do we have targets below? Well, we almost made the double top target, but we're not quite there, I don't think. Hang on 1 second. I have the target in the 75 area, 100 area. I am wondering if we might make that today, in which case I'd be leaning towards this forming basically a bull flag on ES, setting up a retest of the high. In terms of NQ, we've got a little head and shoulders here that's broken down with a target at the monthly pivot at 29,492.50, and well, I'm wondering if that might make target too. Nothing on RTY really indicating anything. Still looks like bull flag forming. YM, but we could see another low within that flag. YM, we've got a possible 60-minute sell signal brewing. So obviously we had a buy signal, a weak 60-minute buy signal fixed yesterday morning on ES. That reached a possible near miss target. I'm wondering if we might see the same on YM today. We are definitely leaning bearish today on the historical stats, and actually they've delivered every day this week. Maybe that will happen today as well. Although, I mean, honestly, I'd be wondering about a trend down. We don't tend to see those on Fridays. We'll see how it goes. In terms of DAX, it still looks like a bull flag forming. On ESTX, it still looks like a bull flag forming. On Nikkei, we've broken down below the rising support here. I'm wondering about a possible head and shoulders forming here. So there's definitely scope for downside, and obviously the stats are leaning to the downside. All right, let's have a look at the bigger picture charts. And we're still very close to the highs. We've still got on the daily charts, we've still got an RSI 14 sell signal brewing, RSI 5 sell signal fixed. We've got the same on ES. Looking at the at the hourly chart, we've got an RSI 14 sell signal. Sorry, I haven't marked it in, but obviously we made the target on the RSI 5 sell signal. Here, we're pretty close to the RSI 14 sell signal, but I haven't marked that as made because actually I don't think it is. So I'd really like to see another swing down to make that, and we may well see that today. On the 15-minute chart, we had an RSI 14 buy signal yesterday at the lows, and that has already made the possible near miss target. We'll see how it goes, but could this be an A, B, C flag? Down into the 7,500 area, yeah, I think it could. Maybe a bit lower if the keys pattern makes target. Looking at the keys, still got an possible RSI 14 sell signal brewing, still got an RSI 5 sell signal fixed. Looking at the hourly chart, we've got an RSI 14 sell signal which fixed, and that did make the possible near miss target. We have broken the channel, which is interesting. So that, as I said, that was a tight channel. It was never going to last that long, but it has broken, and that we may see some follow through for a retracement. On the 15-minute chart, no current divergent worth the mention. We had a little sell signal here, but that's already made target. Do we have a head and shoulders here? Yes, it's not as nice as the one we've got on NQ, but we will see whether that can deliver a move down today. In terms of Dia, we've got a possible RSI 14 buy sell signal brewing here now, and we've got, if we didn't already have a weak RSI 14 sell signal fixed, we would have an RSI 5 sell signal rather. We would have a full RSI 5 sell signal brewing here. We are obviously at the trendline resistance. Wondering about seeing an interim top form here. We had an RSI 14 sell signal fix here on Dia. That hasn't made the possible near miss target yet. I'm wondering if it might. You can see that this is a pretty nice hit of the wedge resistance I had drawn in. In terms of the not using the same trend line on this chart, obviously. On the 15-minute chart, we've got a possible RSI 14 sell signal brewing and an RSI 5 sell signal fix that's already reached the possible near miss target. I'm wondering if we're going to see some downside on YM today. Looking at IWM. Right, IWM on the daily charts, we don't have any negative divergence here on the RSI 5. We went a little too low for that, so we're not going to get a possible sell signal. Still wondering if a bull flag is forming. On the hourly chart, we've still got an RSI 14 sell signal fixed as well. On the 15-minute chart, no current divergence worth the mention, but we do have a nice looking short-term little double top, which could deliver something. We'll see. Looking at DAX, I think this is probably forming a bull flag, setting up a retest of the high. And Nikkei, I'd like to see a little pullback here, which we've already seen actually. If we can see a bit more, but if we retest the high after this, we'll have new daily RSI 5 and RSI 14 sell signal, possible sell signals brewing on Nikkei. This is over the obvious trend line here now, and I'm wondering about this being a bearish overthrow, but it could be that we're proceeding up to an alternate target. But that target would be significantly higher for the next alternate trend line. All right, great. Let's have a look at DX. DX, we obviously had a double top breakdown here. It failed, and we've got another potential larger double top here. We will see whether that tries to deliver, but I think we're basically trading a range until this is ready to break up. Not a lot to see on the other currencies. USD looks like a bear flag forming. GBP/USD, hard to say. USD/JPY, we have potential little level top here. I'm not taking that particularly seriously. I think we're still basically on the way back up to a retest of this high here in the 160.70 area. USD CAD, got an obvious trend line target above, which I'm still wondering if it might get hit. I've got that in about the 1.39 area. If we were moving to an alternate trend line, and I'm not currently, I think, seeing any obvious sign that that would be the case. There's no obvious strong trend line here, alternative one, but obviously we've got trend line support currently in about the 1.3825 area. Australian dollar looks like a big head and shoulders forming. NZ looks like a big double top, which has already formed. Looking at oil. Sorry, bonds first. ZB, we got a potential level top here, and that's trying to break down. So NFP basically has sent equities down, bonds down. We'll see whether this delivers more, but this is a potential pattern I was watching. On ZN, this is a head and shoulders. That's breaking down too. I'm going to have to update these charts before I post the morning email quickly, because that's just suddenly happened. In terms of oil, we're in an inflection point here. I'm really hoping this goes up. I am long this, but I'm aware that until a crisis starts, we are trading a range. It could be that these IHSs are going to fail, and we're going to head back to the lows. We're in an inflection point right now. This is a very nice looking little level bottom, and what I'd like to see it do is break up back up, retest this high, and continue up towards the IHS target. And I'm thinking that is my 70% option here. 30% option, we come down, we break the IHS by going below the right shoulder low, and we come back in and retest the low, in which case we would have a larger double bottom setup, which I'd then be looking for to deliver. So we will see how that goes. I'm leaning towards the upside, mainly because I'm long oil and I don't like pain. So CL, basically exactly the same setup, same little double bottom, same possibility that the IHS will fail, but I'm leaning against that. HO, we got a weak 60-minute buy signal fixed, and actually on coil, Brent, we've got a possible weak 60-minute buy signal brewing. CL, we've got a possible weak 60-minute buy signal brewing. We've got obviously a weak 6-minute buy signal fixed on heating oil. We've got the same setup here. We've got the same IHS. We've got the same possibility of breaking below the IHS right shoulder low, and we've got the same little double bottom here, although slightly smaller than on the others. RBOB still is wondering about retesting this low and hasn't done it yet. We've got a 60-minute buy signal fixed there. That is encouraging. So I'm leaning towards the upside on oil here, but obviously aware that, of course, it may go the other way. NG pretty close to a retest this high here. I'm wondering if we turn down hard here, I'll be wondering about a possible bull flag forming. We shall see how that goes. In terms of GC, still got a possible IHS forming here. SI still got a potential level bottom here, although I've moved it. It's slightly smaller. I've moved the resistance level down. Palladium doesn't have an obvious reversal pattern here. Platinum doesn't have an obvious reversal pattern here either. Although this could be a double bottom, although really a slightly messy one. HG still hasn't quite retested this high. I'd quite like to see that retested, but at the moment we're in no danger of doing that. If we come down directly, it's possible this could be A, B, C flag. We'll see how that goes. All right, looking at the other commodities, KC. KC has continued down. I think we had an inflection point here. The decision is made. It's gone down. And currently, we've lost divergence. And I've got this marked in as strong downtrend. SB, still wondering about a retest of this low. Which we haven't seen yet. CC, I'm still wondering about a move to test the head and shoulder target in the 3519 area, and not seeing any powerful reason to think that we're not going to do that. Lumber has gone higher here, wondering about an overall bear flag forming. Bigger picture, I think we are waiting for a turn on equities. And I'm thinking that we may get a significant interim high on equities pretty soon. Now, looking at cotton and the grains, these have all gone lower than I expected. So waiting to see whether these bottom out. Bigger picture, I'm still thinking that we have got some upside ahead of us, but I mean, the reality is there is a lag between planting and reaping of a few months. So the lower crops that I'm expecting to see here boosting, delivering a big bump are still obviously probably 2 or 3 months away at least. We'll see. But in the short term, obviously this could go lower. Wheat, 60-minute buy signal fixed, very sharp decline, very steep decline. We could, of course, break above this declining resistance soon. Corn, not close to the declining resistance there, but we do have a possible 60-minute buy signal brewing. And soy, no current divergence, again, steep decline. ZL has actually been holding up pretty well. So I've got this still marked as strong uptrend. I'm seeing a little bit of a retracement at the moment. Live cattle has broken down from the head and shoulders. Now, it doesn't need to go that far for this to fail. We only need to get back over about 243.80. And I'm thinking it might well do that. We shall see. HE, potential bottoming action here. 60-minute buy signal fix still hasn't made target. All right, let's have a quick look at questions, of which we have none. I'm leaning towards the downside today, or at least a red close. But given that we're opening up 50 handles down, that's not really saying an awful lot. But there are patterns suggesting that we might see a trend down day today, and I would quite like to see that. Fingers crossed we will. All right, great. In that case, I think that's a wrap. Everyone take care and have a wonderful weekend. I'll catch you guys again on Monday. Cheers.